free speech is free speech.
Yep.
If you're a full grown man and you don't advocate for free speech, there's something wrong with you, because then you don't understand history very well, and you understand that the first step of tyranny is to shut up free speech. You have to get one side of the story only and destroy all opposing viewpoints, and tyranny is next. I think that there is a lot of pressure behind the dam, and this is another thing I want to make public. I want to make clear to the world. I don't have beef with the social media companies. I don't have beef with Susan and YouTube. I don't have beef with Meta and Zuck. I don't give a fuck, right? I don't have personal beef with these people, and I'm not even mad at them for banning me.
Sure.
Right? But I do think, and like I said, I talk about things from a non-emotional standpoint, from a professional standpoint. I do think they made a mistake. And I'm not saying that because it's me. I'm not saying that because I want to get back on. I'm saying that because when you do something like they've done, like the mass cancellation of me, it's very, very important that you do not come across as tyrannical. You have to be seen to be fair and non-biased. And everyone for a long time knew that wasn't the case. And banning me added more fuel to the fire, added more pressure to the dam. The water behind the dam is these people are not fair. They control all the information. They're not non-biased. They're actually extremely biased. They're tyrannical. And what happens is when you have a lot of pressure behind a dam, it takes a very small crack for the whole thing to explode. The crack that was missing is someone to be canceled and become more successful than they were pre-cancellation. As soon as that happens, nobody's afraid anymore because nobody wants to deal with their anyway. And what happens is, it's kind of like, if you're a tyrannical person, you have to sit and try very hard to not come across tyrannical. You know, like if you're a jealous guy, you have to try very hard to not look jealous. It's like they haven't sat there and looked at the optics of it.
Sure.
And now they're sitting there I know they analyze data in real time at the point of the cancellation. In fact, because my team analyzed data, right? So I'll tell you this. So when I got canceled, I had the war room analyzing data in real time. So at the height of the media storm, there's apps you can use to measure responses on comments, likes, etc., up votes, down votes, blah, blah, blah. At the height of the media storm, it was about 55% of comments on any post involving me was positive and 45% were negative at the height of the lies. It's now 95% positive. So now that they've fired all their bullets, that's all the media machine can do.
Don't you think people switch up though?
They can't print that I'm misogynist again. They can't print the same lie. Yeah. They've shot me with every bullet. I'm still standing here alive. It's like the zombies coming. You've emptied your clip. He's still here. And now everyone loves me and they're sitting there and they fucked up.
Where does this go though as a whole? You know what I'm saying? Not just for you, but I mean, as a whole, like, is this going to create like overall just rebellion, do you think? Like, cause where does this end up in 20 years from now? If more people are dipping and going to other platforms, just new platforms.
They're going to Rumble.
Or not even just content wise. I just mean life wise. Like where do you think this is going? Cause everything shifts, right? Powers always shift.
Yeah.
So is this going to turn to a point where like, I don't know, the right side, which is typically the side that's being more like quieted, is that going to be then in control and then attacking the left in the same? Because it just swings.
Yeah, you're right. Life is cyclical and it goes in a pendulum. And right. I do think that there's now a change happening in society. I do think it's going to shift.
But won't it be just as bad if it gets to the other side and then the other side is just feeling the same exact way? Like, completely. How do you think we find a balance genuinely?
I don't think we'll ever find a balance.
I don't think we will.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to be moving to alternative platforms. Obviously, I'm on Rumble. They've been fantastic to me. I have nothing but good things to say about them.
But fuck content, the overall thing.
Overall, I think that social media is going to change to the point where I think the next big thing for a platform to do would be to allow the content creator to own their subscribers. Imagine there was imagine there was a platform where you owned the subs. You had their emails, you owned the subs, and you could choose any platform you wanted and you could bring your subs with you.
Sounds like you have a plan.
How does the platform?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I'm just saying, if a platform were to do that, where would you build your following? Would you build your following where you own the data? So what these large companies do is they want to control the data for as long as possible, and that's going to be disrupted when someone comes along and says you can build your following and you own the data and you own the following, and if I'm not good to you or you think I'm tyrannical, you can take your following somewhere else. Then they're going to conquer, and then YouTube's going to fall.
Well, that's the thing that's always got me going crazy is like this whole like all these platforms are money driven at the end of the day. And I don't think people really realize that the data that they're grabbing, like for example, the whole period of like when the world shifted to social media and mainstream media lost their power on television, they realized, oh shit, we need to own social media. We need to have our people here, because at the same time, like they were losing money from advertisers who were like, we're all going to social media now. We're not going to go pay the television because no one's watching anymore. How do we get people on our website or on our social media channels? And they did the same thing like that, like almost YouTubers have done for years, which is like create content that is like drama driven or negative driven to get people in. So do you think that will ever change though? Because it's always going to be content based and content driven.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's necessarily going to change, but I do think that people, as they wake up, are going to understand that having control of your data is more and more important.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter whether it's your social media followers and your subscribers, or your email list, or even credit card processing, right? Like you guys have a business and you're charging for credit cards. Whoever's doing the credit card processing for you, you need to be able to go to them and say, give me all those card details. I want to use someone else. Yeah. And if they say, no, we're going to keep them, then you're going to say, fuck you. Then I'm not going to, maybe it's too late now, but when I start my next business, I'm going to work with the people who allow me to have the credit card data from my customers in case I want to use somewhere else. We're going to start getting our data back, and that's going to take their power away, because anything that's free for us to use on the internet isn't free. We're giving them our data in payment. Matrix attacks are going to come. But I think when you have strong leadership and you have smart people and people who certainly anticipate that, and also when you fight for good and you're truly doing the right thing, God smiles upon you. And I don't believe that tyranny lasts for long. Name a tyrannical government or a tyrannical situation in history that lasted forever. You can't name one. There's, no matter what, whether it's the Roman Empire, whether it's the Third Reich, whatever, when you're tyrannical, sooner or later, there is a revolt. And they're going to try their very best to do certain things. But once the general populace understands that this is bullshit, and this is a version of the truth or two sides of the story, then there's going to be a mass exodus, and they can't stop that.